Hey guys, this is Neon Nezzy, back again with another Destiny Nights video, and today we have a new update for both the global and the Asia server. It's Asia plus Korea. So for the global server, it's basically a new hero for both servers. Global server is getting JUN, rock, and paper. I know that the global server has been asking for rock JUN for a very long time, and we in the Asian Korea server are actually getting Victor of the Tragard Union, dictator of the Tragard Union. So real quick, let me just explain why I haven't been very active recently. The only reason, well, there are two reasons. One is that I've been having a ton of exams recently. It's my midterms, it's like that time of the year. So I have to focus on that. I'm a student first, right? Second, it's just that I feel I've made a lot of guides on the game, and right now I could do some hero spotlights, but other than that I really can't bring out any informational content, and that's why I pride my channel on being for informational content. My next video is going to be about PvP and building an auto team for PvP because somebody asked me a question about it. But yeah, anyway, let's get straight into the reviews. So let's go ahead and look at JUN first. This is of course for the people on the global server. So let's just go ahead and get straight into it with rock JUN. So rock JUN is possibly one of the, no, he definitely is one of the biggest DPS units in the game. Alright, staple DPS unit, especially because of his skill 1. And skill 2 just provides more utility, and it's just like, this unit is so versatile, it can be used anywhere, especially in Giants. So his first ability is Last Stand, and it's a amp skill, so the more time you wait for it, the bigger the damage is going to be. And I'm trying to open the link on my laptop. Sorry about the delay, guys. So, okay. So, it's an amp skill. So, the longer you wait, or the more amps you can have a maximum of 3, the more damage you deal. At level 5, I mean, and this is unique in a sense. This move is unique in the sense that there's no other move in the game that works like this, where you deal damage proportional to the enemy's HP, while you sacrifice your team's HP. So it really is like a double-edged sword, and I'm not sure, but I feel that you will sacrifice your HP even if you have shields on. I'm not sure, I should test that out sometime. So at level 1 you have 38 seconds cooldown, you ignore 6% of the enemy's defense, and you sacrifice 6% of your total team HP to deal a damage equal to 10, 16, or 20% of your enemy's current HP. So again, it's current HP, not total. So if you use this skill when the enemy is at 100%, it's going to deal a lot more damage, because let's say the bar of the boss is at 100, right? Let's say the boss has 100 hit points. You use this now, it's going to deal 2 damages, one based on his defense and one based on the boss's HP. The one that deals boss's HP will deal 20 damage because 20% of 100% is 20. So the boss will have, let's say, 80%. Let's ignore the defense damage for now, alright? 20%. Now, let's say the boss is at 10 HP and you use the skill. If you don't look at the damage dealt according to his defense or based on his defense, he will only deal 2 HP worth of damage because 20% of 10 is 2. Alright, does that make sense? I hope it does. Max level, it's 33 seconds cooldown. Damage goes up to 840 when it comes to 3 amps. Ignore defense goes up to 80%. You sacrifice 10% of your team's total HP, but you will actually take out 30% of the enemy's HP. And this, every now and there are certain cases where you just need the damage, so you just blow it out, right? You just blow it out when it's at 1 or 2 amps. But regardless of 1 or 2 or 3 amps, you're always going to be using 10% of your team's HP. It's not a very big deal because generally people have sustain, heals, whatnot, but for maximum benefits or for maximum efficiency, this skill should always be used when you have 3 amps. Skill 2 is that you will deal a bunch of hits. I still don't know how many hits, but you deal a bunch of hits, and for each hit, you are dealing damage based on defense, and you have a chance to reduce cooldown of... First of all, you will reduce your team's random cooldowns, right? He can't apply to himself, but he will apply to random team members. Every hit will reduce it by 4 seconds. It's at level 1, mind you. Level freaking 1. And then, he also has a 60% chance to decrease the cooldown of Last Stand, his first ability, by 15 seconds, while dealing an AoE damage of 300%. That AoE damage of 300% hits very hard, and it just deals insane amount of damage. He's good for speed teams. The only reason why people don't use him in his speed teams is why he's not very common anymore, at least, is because his second skill is a multiple hits, right? Let's say it's 5 hits. I think it's more than that, but let's say for right now it's 5 hits. The first hit usually is so powerful that you've killed the target. 2 hits, for sure you've killed the target. So once you activate it, you're still hitting that target. If you kill the target within 2 hits, you're going to reduce 2 cooldowns by 4 seconds each, or 2 skills by 4 seconds each. The remaining 3 hits don't land, so you don't reduce cooldowns. I'm not sure that if JUN is very popular or not in auto. At least for me, this is the reason why I don't use him in auto. Just because of that one reason. But he still does incredible damage, and when it comes to the boss, the second skill is still very amazing. Personally, what I did was I skilled up the second skill first, but this is because I was going for utility. If you guys want to make speed teams for giants and whatnot, go ahead and max out his first skill. But for utility purposes, max out his second skill first, and then max out his first skill. At level 5, his second skill will deal again single target damage based on your defense. You will randomly decrease someone's cooldown on your team by 6 seconds per hit, and you still have a 60% chance to decrease the cooldown of your first ability by 20%. It went up from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Sorry, not percent. 15 to 20 seconds. And the AoE damage is now equal to 400% defense. He is a great unit. Great, absolutely great unit. Must have. Leader skill, not so important. I mean, it's very standard. I never use him in the striker position, and I don't think anybody uses him in the striker position. He just brings in so much more utility when he's on the first, or when he's in the core 3. Next up is his brother. He is just disowned by like every player out there. People really don't like Paper JUN. So the reason why people don't like Paper JUN is that the main difference is, first of all, Rock JUN is damage and utility for your team. Paper JUN is more like you're reducing the utility of the opponents, and you're playing defensively for your team. So let me explain. Rock JUN has a nuke, and he has multiple hits that will reduce cooldowns for you. What Paper JUN has is that he has a line attack, this right here, Royal Combo, which if you land it on someone will increase their skill cooldowns by 30%. It's a lot, but it's only 60% of landing. At max skill, that stays at 60%, but you will increase randomly a target skill cooldown by 50%. You know what? Why have I not been using him in Arena? Because what I could do is just bring in Helga for 50% status activation. That's 100%. And if I land it onto the opponents... Oh wait, but it's a random skill. It's a target's random skill. So let's say if you apply this on Elkie, it might set her second or her first ability on cooldown. And if her first ability gets set on cooldown, it's not a big deal, because her second ability is like the big heal thing. So same with Adonis, like you'd want to reset his shield and not his break. Yeah. Okay, yeah, never mind, he's not that great. He's not that great. The fact that that is a random target, I mean, if it was all skills, it would be way too broken. It would be OP. So maybe what they could do for future patches is make this that you would increase the skill cooldown of all skills of the opponent, but it's only for like 7 seconds instead of 50 seconds, because 50 seconds is like broken. Holy cow. Second skill is Energy Wave, AoE. You will absorb 10% of the... This never made sense. He actually absorbs all of the damage. It says 10% of enemies attack for 4 seconds, but he actually creates like an invulnerability shield. Oh, you know what I think it is? I think that you will reflect back 10%, but you will absorb 100% of the damage, because you take no damage whatsoever. At max skill, you'll be reflecting 20% of the damage for 6 seconds, so that's basically like an Adonis, only a bit more on the offensive side. Skill 1, I mean, it's a good skill, it's just not that great, you know? Like, it's good, but the moment you land it on a skill that you don't want it to land, you're screwed. Like, it just doesn't offer too much utility. Leader skill, defensive Jin faction, not the best. Striker position, you guys can use me in the striker position, to be honest, but the thing is, he gives you an invulnerability shield that reflects damage, 7,000 strike points, but it's not immune to debuffs, or it doesn't cleanse anything. So, in my opinion, he's still not worth building. Maybe for Pair Arena, but other than that, he's not worth building. If you were to build him, or if you were to build either of the Juns, I would go with Iron Wall and Grit. Try to get 60% skill cooldown reduction with as high defense as you can. What I want to do with my Rock Jun, at least, I can't show you guys a Paper Jun because I don't have him built, but I can show you guys my Rock Jun. This is my Rock Jun right here. 50% skill cooldown reduction with 2600 defense. Not the best, could be a lot better. What I want to do is change him from Iron Wall to concentration. Hopefully get the critical rate up to 40% with still like 2100 defense and 60% skill cooldown reduction. That would be my ideal Rock Jun. If you guys are building Paper Jun, if you guys are running somebody with a status activation buffer like Helga or Tianjin, it's okay. But if you're not, try to get at least 20% status activation on him just so that he can land the skill cooldown increase onto the opponents. So global server release, you guys also get, not global server release, global server players also get the Jin Nightmare on difficulty, Nightmare difficulty on the adventure mode, so that's something new. The link is in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out to look at the Descended dungeon schedule. It's changed a little bit. Alright, so let's move on. I'm actually just going to go to world map and do a little bit of auto. We're going to talk about the... What was I doing? Was I doing Sylvis with this team? Was I? I cannot tell. Anyway, so the link is in the description down below for anybody that wants to check out the schedules. Now I'm going to be moving on to the update for the Asia server, which is basically just the dungeon schedule, some bug fixes. I mean, the bug fixes, like, they're not really that great, you know, like, I guess they're important, but none of us players actually really care about them, to be honest, unless they're like major bug fixes. But we have a new hero, Tragar. Victor appears, and so far we only have the skills for the first Victor, which is the paper. They still haven't released the skills of the other Victor. I don't know if it's going to be rock or scissor, but for the paper one, let me just read it out, alright? And it's in the... I have a link to this as well. So, skill 1 is Apocalypse Fate. Creates a shield that will make the caster invincible for 1 second. Why? Why would you do that to us? You know how hard it is going to be to time that? It's going to be hard enough to time that in a PvE setting, and in a PvP setting, that is like nigh impossible. Like, oh, Johnny's about to use his first skill, I'm going to activate this invincibility shield so I don't take damage for 1 second and cancel out all that damage. That's just not going to happen. But this skill 1 also will convert your normal attacks or special attacks for 10 seconds. You know, I'm hoping to God that's a typo. That should be invincible for 10 seconds. But anyway, you will be special attacks, your normal attacks will become special attacks for 10 seconds. With special attacks, your damage is equal to 60% of defense. You will ignore 50% of target's defense. 8% chance to shock for 8 seconds with each attack, I'm guessing. And you have a 10% chance to increase the caster's defense by 1% whenever attacking the target. That is just... What do you mean I have a 10% chance to increase my own defense? So, in the next 100 hits, my defense is going to go up by 10. A total of 10. Flat 10 defense. If this was auto, alright, this is, first of all, I don't like this because when it comes to, I haven't seen the skills. I haven't tested them out. There's always errors when translating from Korean to English, so that's fine, alright? But I'm just expressing my feelings towards this skill right now, because if it was a 10% chance to decrease the enemy's defense, that's not a bad thing, because especially for faction bosses, sure, like decreasing the defense by 1 isn't that big of a deal, but within 6 minutes of time, or now it's 4 minutes of time, I think I will have hit the boss like 70 or 80 times with that one unit, especially if I bring in somebody with like attack speed buff, like Chen. Then that goes up, so I will have a permanent decrease on the boss's defense by like 70% or something. Maybe even 100% if I manage to land 100 hits. That's great. But that's not what the skill does. This skill has a 10% chance to increase the defense by 1%. Wait. No. Yeah, okay, fine. My calculations before, they were correct. Like, land 100 hits and your defense is gonna go up by 1%. That's kind of weak, in my opinion, because nowhere in the game right now, or maybe I'm not thinking straight. Yeah, but nowhere in the game right now do you have the luxury of spending so much time. Like, all scenarios, you want to be as quick as possible, right? You want to be as quick as possible to have speed teams. Giants, we have speed teams. Carol's Trials, we already have a staple team, and I don't think bringing in defense is going to help us much because the units there just hit way too hard, like as the stages get harder. Faction Boss is the only place I could see this working, and that's if the skill did what I wanted to do, was instead of increasing my defense, decrease the opponent's defense. Second skill is Drill Crash. AoE damage of 450%, decrease their defense by 50%, or ignore their defense by 50%, and 50% chance to knock them down. So far, the paper one is interesting, could be super OP, but as of this moment, I would not build a paper one if I pulled one. Leader skill is that increase the final damage of Tragar by 20%. There are no really well-known Tragar damage units out there, because JUN is Jin faction. Oh no. It's good for Gunter, cause Gunter's Tragar, right? Yeah, so you can bring him into Destro, but then you have the leader. You have a problem because Destro is Scissor and you're Paper, and so now you have a disadvantage. It's just not working very well. I will tell you this, if you guys scroll down from that, you guys will see the Paper skills, and that animation just looks super good. That animation on the Striker skill, it just looks polished. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this update. Basically, few bug fixes. What are the bug fixes? Let's just go over them really quick. Fix the check-in. Fix the guild check-in where you can now acquire reward upon joining. Okay. That wasn't really that wasn't really a bug. It was just a misunderstanding. People thought that they had to do something to check in, while just opening the guild tab would have allowed you to check in. That's just miscommunication. That's not a bug fix. But whatever. Interested to see what the other Victor is going to be. So far, in my opinion, at least, the paper is not worth building. I don't even know where we're going to be able to use him. Maybe just for fun, just like play around and just for like time pass. I could use him in Arena. That's it. Alright, so anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys I'll do a JUN spotlight showing Rock JUN everywhere he can be used, and then we'll talk more about Victor once he gets released. But yeah, anyway, hopefully this keeps us occupied for like, it really won't though. Like, I want to say hopefully these updates will keep us occupied for like the next week at least, but no, like, this is going to become old news within like 2 days. Within 2 days, everybody's going to spend all the rubies and summons they have, and whether they get the unit or not, it's just gonna be old news. I don't know, I really feel like they need to step up their game and bring out freaking Guild Wars like ASAP. Because we've been waiting for this like over half a year now. It's not funny anymore. It is just not funny. Alright, so anyway, hopefully the devs do better in following updates. Hopefully you guys learned something in this video. If you guys have any questions or comments or requests, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you guys like my videos, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Until the next time, guys, Neon out.